Hey friends, this is Ann, also known as EANRN on Instagram and Ravelry, and this is my channel about cross stitch, knitting, crochet, sewing, and crafting. It's a channel where I share. It's a channel where I share when I craft all the things, which also now includes being a kitty mom. And I don't think this is gonna work. Look at that sweet face. This is Gage. He's my darling little new kitten. He's 3 months old. And he was asleep, so I thought, let me go ahead and try to podcast. But now he's excited because I'm talking and the wires. Leave it alone. So this is my third episode, and thanks for coming back. If you're coming back, and if you're new, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Thanks so much for everybody who's watching and liking and subscribing and sharing. I would love for more people to join us as we chat about crafting all the things. So today I have for you cross stitch, knitting, crochet, and sewing. And I also have some haul. I don't know if I'm going to edit all this out or not, but anyway, we'll just go with it. All right, I'm going to go and take my little friend to my daughter and let her wrangle him for a little bit, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I mentioned my daughter was going to wrangle my cat, and she is home. She is just finished her second year in the doctorate program at UNC Chapel Hill in the archaeology department, and she was on a dig in Mexico for the last month. She left on June 1st and came back on July 7th. So I am so happy she's back. So she's got the baby. One other thing I forgot to mention that we're also going to talk about is some paper crafting that I did this week. So we'll get into that. First, we're going to start with cross stitch. Switching it up today. So I have some FOs that I would love to show you. The first one is the month January of the Waxing Moon Designs monthly trio patterns that I got the 4 of to do for my mom. I mentioned last time that she lives in a senior community, and her apartment, they have little shelves outside their doors that everybody decorates. And I thought it would be nice for her to have a display that she can change out monthly with little, decorative months. So I finished January. Ooh, let me turn this light down. That's a little better. So it's really cute. I love the cardinal. And it turned out nice. I did mess up in the month that I had to rip back and fix, but that was not really a big deal. And this is on an even weave that I coffee tea dyed myself. And I think it was a 28 count even weave. I measured last night because I couldn't really remember, and I got 29, but because I dyed it, I'm thinking that it shrunk a little bit. So it was a 28 even weave, and I'm using the called for DMC and doing 2/2. And that is the first month. It's done. And I'll take a picture where the lighting is good and put it in here too, if needed. But yeah, that's done. I just have it wonder clipped onto a sticky board. I was making sure of the size and then how it would look, etc. And I took this with me to Hobby Lobby and to try and find a board, which I found the perfect little thing that I thought was on sale and it wasn't, so I didn't get it. But I found something else at Target's dollar spot later that same day. So I'll show those in haul. But yes, happy that one's done. And then I started and finished my aunt's monthly board. And hers is from Hands On Design. And I can't remember the name, Year of Celebrations, maybe. I think that's what it is, a Year of Celebrations. And somebody is doing a stitch along for Celebrations 2. But I had already bought Celebrations 1, and so I'm just doing it myself. But this is January, and this is on Belfast linen, 2/2. Can't remember the stitch count, but again, I will put a picture in so you can see it better. But it's the snowman looking up at the month, and I mean the snowballs that he's throwing, and it says Frost. So yeah, that one is a pretty quick stitch. This one is 50 by 50. This one is 58 by 74, I think. So a little bit bigger and a little bit more full coverage. So these take a little bit longer, but I am really happy with these. And this one is just on a piece of cardboard, just so I could get the size that the sticky board needed to be and see how it looked, and also take it with me to get a mounting board for these as well, which I was able to find. So very excited about that, and really happy with how they're turning out. I think they're going to be super cute. I'm very happy with the boards that I got, especially for this one. I really like it. So I'll show you that in just a few minutes. So yes, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Okay. So I guess actually I'm going to insert a little bit of sewing right in here, and kind of an FFO for cross stitch. I have watched a few project bag tutorials on YouTube. One by Bumble Stitches on how to make an easy patchwork panel for a project bag, and then an actual project bag tutorial by Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and I'll link all of that below. But I got some fabric when I was at Hobby Lobby in the remnant section. I always like to look there for little pieces of just quilted cotton, because I have done English paper piecing, and the one I'm kind of matching together is kind of a rainbow theme, and so I just looked to see if there's any colorful fabrics that I could incorporate into that, and just grab them, because they're usually less than $3, and it's just a small amount, and that's all I really needed. Anyway, so I got these two really fun fabrics that were kind of batik, and I love batik, and they were bright, summery, fun colors. So this was the first one, real pretty batik, and then the bottom here was the second one. And this is the back of the project bag that I made, and I didn't have a big enough piece to do the whole thing one color, so I just pieced it together, and I think that looks cool. And then I followed the Bumble Stitches, and the Tiger Lily Designs also has a tutorial about using squares onto interfacing and then sewing the interfacing after you've stuck down the squares, and it just makes it easier. It was so quick and easy. So I made a patchwork panel for the front, but then I also did a little cross stitch to put on the bottom, and I just kind of came up with a heart and just decorated it. So I'll show that to you. So here's the bag. Got a little butterfly zipper pull charm, and then here is my heart that I just kind of did, and I think it's 14 count Aida, and I did over 2, so it's really big. And I use DMC craft thread, craft cotton. Anyway, it's DMC, but it's variegated, and it's not 6 strands in one length. So it's just a single strand, so it's much thicker. And then I did the nun stitch around the outside edge, which I had never done before, but I heard about on the Colorado Cross Stitcher podcast. So I looked up a tutorial on that and did that by Pat Carson, who did the tutorial. Again, links will be below. So I did the pink around the outside and then was able to fray the edges. And this is actually the second of this little cross stitch heart I did, because the first one turned out fine. It was actually perfect. I learned the nun stitch, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sew this onto the bag. And then I thought, I have some fusible adhesive stuff. I'm going to use that and stick it to the bag with that instead of sewing it. That'll be easy. I messed up. I did a little bit of light interfacing on the back of the piece just to kind of stabilize the stitches. And then I was going to iron the iron-on adhesive to it, and I ironed it to the front onto my stitches. I was a little aggravated with myself. So thankfully, it's a pretty small design. Did it really quick over again, and I actually like how it turned out better the second time, because the variegation in the heart goes from light to dark to the bottom, and it just turned out cute. So it's the original one is somewhere in the bottom of my basket over here, and so I'll dig that out at some point when I get to the bottom of the basket and show you. But so anyway, I'm very pleased with how this turned out. The zipper works, and that's the lining. Just some fabric that I had that kind of had polka dots that matched the patchwork beautifully. So my next project finally is in here, and this is the February month for the monthly trio by Waxing Moon Designs, and I have got the border done and the snow pile, and I am working on filling in the border, the groundhog. So I will be putting a picture of what he will look like when he is finished. But I mentioned the first time that my mom's birthday is on Groundhog Day, so I thought that this was pretty apropos for her to have in her collection, to have a groundhog on February. So there's hearts and trees and an envelope for a Valentine on there, but the groundhog is looking for his shadow or not, I guess. So yeah, I am again using that same coffee tea dyed fabric that I dyed myself, and using the called for colors. So yeah, happy with how that's coming along. Oh, and I got this Nurge hoop. It's an extra small, and it works perfectly for these monthly designs. So I really am enjoying that. Okay, next I worked on my angel. So this is the Lavender and Lace Angel of Hope, and I have mentioned previously that this is an extra old whip from the 1990s, and I pulled it back out when I started cross stitching again, and needed to do one whole wing and then the gold accents and the back stitching. So last week I had finished the white on the wing, and now I have finished, I didn't iron today, sorry. I have finished all of the shading of the wing. Isn't she beautiful? I finished the shading of the wing, I did her face, and we have a harp, people. She is holding a harp. So I'm very excited about that. I had gotten some DMC gold thread, which of course isn't in my bag. And that is what I did the harp with. and it's fine. It is 6-stranded like regular DMC floss is. And I'll put on the screen what it actually is because I don't remember, and it's somewhere. I put it away because I didn't like it. So around the angel, she has like a halo of gold and then some gold sparkles that kind of come around here and around here. Just little random confetti type gold pieces. And I had done all of that, and it didn't look pretty to me. It looks okay in the harp because that's a dimensional piece, but these just looked messy and I just didn't like it. So I have found some gold Krynic in my stash of stuff. I've never used Krynic before. Here's a bit of the gold that is 6-stranded, and it's a little bit thick, and you know, you can separate it, and I used 2 flosses, and maybe I should have used just 1, I don't know, but I didn't like it, so I pulled it all out. And I found this Krynic, and all around the bottom of the ruffle of her dress, at the bottom, you see that empty spot? That is all to be gilded, whatever the word is. So I tried it in this section. Oh, right here. Can you see that? You can kind of see the sparkle. So I tried it in that section. There it is. And I like how it looks much better than the other. So that is what I'm going to use for all of the rest of the gold. I backstitched around her face and eye and head, and that's all the back stitching that is needed or called for. So she's getting close, ladies and gentlemen. She is gonna be done soon. So after I ripped out all the gold and tried the Krynic and decided it was going to work, I had done all of the confetti gold in this gray in the second wing. I finished off all the gray in the wing, and now I'm down to the gold, and hopefully it will be an FO soon. And then finally FFO. So yeah, Angel of Hope, Lavender of Lace. I am using what looks like Belfast linen, 32 count. And like I said, I started this in the 90s and apparently didn't know what I was doing, or I don't know, but I used 3 strands, 3/2. Do not recommend. I mean, the coverage is very puffy, but it's not necessary. 2 would have worked, but I had to finish with 3 because 2 looked depressed and not the same as the 3 that had been done. So I had done some gray in the first wing with 2, thinking that's what I had used, and was like, this doesn't look right. So I got to inspecting the back, and sure enough, I had used 3 floss strands. Okay, so one more whip that I have worked on, and this is in my self-made, I actually made it for a knitting bag, but it fits my llama piece well, and so I'm using it for that. So I did work on my llama a little bit, and I finished off the nose and mouth portion, and then just started with the peach confetti. And I'll put a picture in of what this is going to look like Doesn't look terribly different from the last time that I showed it. But yeah. And I'm using my Nurge hoop on this one just because it made it easier to wrangle the fabric. I've got Wonder Clips holding back my edges. So this is by Light Unicorn Designs, and again, it'll be linked. So that is my llama, and I think that is all of my cross stitching whips. I have kitted up March, ready to go for the next one for my mom's monthly series. So I have that all kitted up, and I have the February kitted up for my aunts. So I will be working on those as I get to them. So I'll finish February for mom, and I'll do February for my aunt, and then move on to March, etc. So yeah, that is my knitting and a little bit of sewing. And I guess I will show you, not knitting, cross stitch. I guess I'll show you another bit of sewing because it relates to cross stitch. I was watching a Flosstuber. I can't remember which one. I've watched quite a few. Like I said, the very first episode, I'm a school nurse and I'm out for summer break. So crafting is my job. I think I said knitting is my job, but I've turned it into crafting since I started the podcast and got really into cross stitching and doing all of the things. So anyway, somebody had a false bed mat board portfolio thing. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And that's a good idea. So it has felt on the inside, and it's like it's done up like a book, and you can put your flosses, which I have. And then I also put just a little D-ring with a lobster claw so I could hook my scissors there in case I needed them. But it is a snap booklet. And this fabric I got, it's a decorator fabric, so it's a heavier weight, and I got it from the remnant section at Hobby Lobby, and I think it's really pretty. And then I just used some, oh, there you go, some twill tape on the edges that I had left over from actually scrapbooking, Stampin' Up days. So yeah, I put that around, and I kind of mitered the corners, and then I have snaps. So I put some snaps on, and then I just had some felt batting. And then on the inside, I had some like crafting cork that I had picked up at some point in my scrapbooking days, never used. So I just had sheets of it. So I just cut that down to the size and use that, and that gives it a little bit of structure. And yeah, so this sits beside me on my table while I am stitching, and I can put extra flosses there. Got it kind of messy. You can see I'm working on the February colors. So that is my floss book. One more little sewing thing. Again, with the remnants section, while I was there, there was this very soft fleece, you know, like the minky kind of blanket stuff. There was a remnant of that, and I thought, oh, I could make Gage a little blanket. I didn't read how big it was, so it was pretty thin slice. So that is how wide it was. You see at the bottom where this seam is. So it was only that wide, but it was double long. So I just cut it in half, seamed it together, and then folded it in on itself, and you know, just basically made an empty pillow. So it's just super soft, and it lays on top of a lidded basket that I have, and so he can snuggle up on that, which he has done. So yeah, that is all of my sewing. I do have plans for more sewing. I have some more fabric that I had gotten to make another project bag, And then I found another cross stitch piece, which I probably should have gotten and show it to you. Let me grab it. Pause. Okay, sorry. I found in my, when I was looking for something in my scrapbook closet, we have a guest room that has a very large walk-in closet, and that is where all of my rubber stamps are housed that I don't use anymore. So if anybody wants some Stampin' Up! Rubber stamps, let me know. We can work something out. Anyway, I found a piece that I signed with my maiden name initials and the 1994. So EAK are my initials that I put on here, and 1994. And it's a Seasons of the Heart, and it was from a cross stitch magazine. Don't know the designer or the name of the pattern, other than it's probably Seasons of the Heart. But I did this before I got married and thought it was cute. It actually, I did frame it and have it hanging in my kitchen at my first house when I got married. And I got married in '96. And the frame broke in a move, and then it just got kind of put aside. So I thought it would be really cute to make a project bag with this as the panel on the front. And so I have some more remnants that I got from Hobby Lobby. I have some red gingham check, and then for a contrasting fabric is cherries. So I plan on making the back a patchwork piece, because this is just a skinny remnant. It's not a big enough piece to be the front or the back alone. I plan on making a patchwork piece like the bag that I made, but have that be the whole back. And I plan on using the gingham, the cherries, and then denim I have. So I will be making a patchwork out of that. I have several different shades of denim, so I'll do that. And then I will put, I'm thinking like just strips of the gingham around this to frame it up and make the front bottom part where the below the zipper, and then I'll have either denim or gingham or patchwork depending on length and amount of fabric at the top. So that is a plan, and that is an old cross stitch finish, and will be a FFO hopefully next week. And while I was up getting the cross stitch piece, I went ahead and grabbed the other fabrics that I got. This is kind of a dusky teal navy. It's not really showing up on the thing, but it's a duck cloth canvas type fabric that was a remnant from Hobby Lobby. And then this yellow, it's kind of a mustardy yellow flower. So I'm gonna do a project bag with that, and I have a zipper that matches, and that's a little bit better color representation. So yeah, those should be coming soon. And my machine was giving me grief, and so I said some lovely, nice words while I was working with my machine, but I think I got it figured out, so that's good. All right, let's go into knitting and crochet. How about that? Crochet, I have 3 FOs, and they are all cat related. 3 crochet items, all cat related. I made a cat toy mouse by Natalie Rios, and these are already very well loved, just out of some acrylic Brava worsted from Knit Picks. And yeah, he loves it, bats it around all the place. And I actually had made one. My son has a cat that he got about 2 months ago, and I had made her one, and so now Gage has his. And then I also made a door hanger And again, this is very well loved. It has my hair all over it. But this is from Lion brand, and all of these patterns are free on Ravelry and will be linked below. On their website, they have this, and he loves that as well. And then I made him a cat bed. I made Pixel, my son's cat, a cat bed, and she absolutely loves it. She sleeps in it all the time. So I was like, oh, I've got to make Gage a cat bed. And so I was like, okay, I've done this. This is the cat bed by Megan Lee. Again, found it on Ravelry. And I know the yarns that I used for hers, and I glanced at the pattern to see what hook I needed to get. And it calls for a 10mm hook. Well, I saw 10, looked in my handy dandy bag of crochet hooks, and I have a little card, and I grabbed the 10. That's not a 10mm, that's just J10. I needed P. So I did it with the wrong hook. So it turned out smaller and much, much more dense than Pixel's bed did. But, and he doesn't, he's sat in it maybe twice. So it's smaller, it's super thick. It is what it is. It's just old. It's 4 worsted weight yarns. Red Heart Super Saver is the gray and the green and the blue. Actually, all of it's Red Heart Super Saver. So it's 4 different strands. And what you do is you start at the bottom, work out until you get to the directed size, work up, and then work in, work to the middle. And it's like a ball-ish kind of thing that you sew up, and then you fold it in on itself, and it's a double thick bag. And as I was crocheting it, I was like, gosh, this is really dense, and I couldn't get my hook through both legs of the stitch. So I was just crocheting through the back loop, and you know, it gives it that ridge. I was like, oh, that's a cool look, you know, blah blah blah. We were out of town while I was working on it, and so I couldn't compare it to Pixel's bed, or I wasn't even thinking about it until I got to the point where you're just working even, and I was like, that looks small. And so I kind of quit working on it, and when I got home on July 5th, I looked, and yeah, that's when I discovered I had been using the wrong hook the whole time. But I was already done with the length of the tallness and was starting on the decreases. So I just finished it, and if he uses it, fine. If not, it's yarn out of my stash that I don't have to worry about. So, you know, that's that. All right, knitting. So my knitting time has slowed down because baby kitten and dangly yarn. But I did finish the socks I was working on last time. They were my Happy Mermaid Yarn Company Gone Campin socks. I finished both of them. So it came with this yellow mini, and I did a pop of color at the cuff and did the heel, and then a pop of color at the toe, and then finished it up. So this is the double gusset basic sock with the double gusset heel that I talked about last time by Christy Payne. Again, a free pattern on Ravelry will be linked below. And then I just did a 3x1 broken rib all along the leg and the top of the foot. So that I think, I don't remember how many pairs I've done for sock camp at this point. That may be, I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, so sock camp, I'm working hard. And then sock week with Natalie of Nitty Natty started on Sunday, the 10th of July. Oh, and today's Thursday. It's been 2 weeks since I recorded. So I have finished the first sock, and this is Yarn Over New York in her Tiger's Eye Shark colorway with an Ocean's Deep mini. And I was knitting along and saw my leftover mini from the Gone Campin socks, and I thought that yellow goes with these socks too. So I decided to put in a yellow heel, and then I did a stripe, a little more main color, and then toe in the Ocean's Deep. And I just did 5 rounds of color, 3 rounds of main color, 5 rounds of contrast, 3 stripes worth. Just carried my yarn up the inside, and just to add a little bit of that color into the leg of the sock, and just to do something different. Again, this is just a plain vanilla sock with the basic double gusset heel that I do on almost all of the socks that are going to be for me. And I have finished the heel, and I'm on the gusset decreases for the second sock. And this is the back of the logo stitch marker for Natalie's Sock Week 2022, and it's by Fangirl Fibers. And then I also have one of her shark Progress Keepers marking where I started this morning. I was on the heel flap, so I finished the heel flap, the heel turn, picked up my gusset stitches, and have just started decreasing those away. So hopefully I'll finish those probably tomorrow. But other than that, that's all I'm knitting on. I just have one project that I'm working on. Yeah, it's these socks. So that is my knitting. And then the only other crafting I have done these last 2 weeks, is some paper crafting. I have a journal book that I started this year, and I called it my making journal. And it's where I wanted to showcase my finished projects. And at the time, it was basically just knitting. So I just got this from Amazon. It is a green notebook that I have covered up who it's by. It says Paperage. So maybe that's what it is. But anyway, here's my inside cover. And I had all these stickers, etc. from my crafting days. I had gotten these knitting stickers, and my aunt gave me this washi tape, and then I just decorated the front. It says making journal, and it says, in the rhythm of the needles there is music for my soul, for the soul. And I drew some knitting and some a sheep. So that is the front page. And then again, just some scrapbook stickers from Stampin' Up. And I put the year 22. And then I just put a picture of my finish and then drop all my pages. Decorate it. I made a Harry Potter sweater and sorting hat and snitch for a friend who had a baby. So this one, I don't have a yarn tag on there, but it's just project details. And then most of them have a little snippet of the yarn, and I just decorate them kind of like a scrap page. This was a blanket I made. Oh nope, this was a test knit I did in with my Moonglow yarn company Rainbow Advent from 2021, and it was a test knit for Dragon Horde yarn. And so I was able to put a little fringe of all the different colors. And I really like how the sweater turned out, and this page, and then some Legacy Fiber Art socks. Keep dropping stickers that I have stuck in here for next pages. So yeah, these are just some, there's a hat I did, socks. I wanted to show you. This is my page for my fresh favorite tea. I was able to test knit this for Kristen Clement Designs. And she has a podcast called Queen City Yarn Dying to Knit. And Queen City Yarn Coleman is the yarn that I used in Caribbean Sea. And I love that sweater. So yeah, this is the baby blanket I thought I was showing you before. But I did the brioche baby chevron blanket by Stephen West. I can't. Brioche chevron blanket by Stephen West. And I just used various fingering weight scraps for the colorful side, and then just a bare yarn for the white side. So yeah, those are, so the pages that I did were these, and I was gonna just put socks for Dad, and I was thinking about summer sock camp, and so when I wrote this, I wrote summer, so they're totally not summer socks, but whatever. And then I just have a few more pages, and I'm not current. So these were my June socks that I showed the first week of the podcast. So yeah, I have, that was pair number 5 for summer sock camp. And I have several more pairs finished since then. So I'm at least at 8, maybe 9 at least. So anyway, I did that this week, and I just like having a little snippet of the yarn, and just that scratches my paper crafting itch that I used to do scrapbooking, and just am not really doing that anymore. So I thought that would be a fun way to kind of incorporate that into my crafting. Okay, so next is haul. I've already shown you some of the things that I've gotten as I was talking about them. I did get a packet of self-stick mounting board from Amazon to use for the month boards that I'm making for my mom and my aunt. And I got some yarn. So a while back, Kirby Werby Yarn is a wonderful self-striping dyer who I have loved since I started knitting, started knitting socks. So 2006, 7-ish. Anyway, beautiful yarns, beautiful colors. Love all of her self-striping. And she had a pre-order a while back, I think in April, for one of her 22 stripe colorways. And this is called Rose Apothecary Remix. And it is going to not show as beautiful as it is. I will try and get a good picture representation of it, or I'll see if I can find one of her pictures of even a swatch and put it up. But it's on her 75-25 Old Faithful base, 440 yards and 100 grams. And I can't wait to knit these up. If I remember correctly, I had totally forgotten that I had even ordered this. So when it came in the yarn, it was a lovely Happy Mail Day. But it's like neon rainbow stripes with gray in there as well. And it's remixed because I think it was her Schitt's Creek Advent stripes that were all random. And I think this is rainbow oriented. So anyway, I'll find a picture and put it in. And then I got my Yarnable box of the month from Hypnotic Yarns, and this, I just have the yarn with me. I don't have the extras with me. It came with a set of 2 red gingham napkins and a bamboo silverware set and a recipe for something, I don't know. Anyway, this is the yarn. It is called Picnic Basket, And it's her plush sock, 8515, 437 yards and 100 grams, and it is a tonal red. It's got some lighter bits and some darker bits. So yeah, that's pretty yarn. And I actually ended my subscription with Yarnable because I have so much yarn. Almost all of these buckets behind me are yarn. Sweaters quantities, single skeins, scraps. I've got a lot of yarn. So I decided, not that I have enough yarn, but that for now I don't need to continue to get the Yarnable. So I paused or canceled my subscription to that Yarnable yarn club that I got monthly. But I loved every box that I got. So if you have not done Yarnable and would like to, you should get signed up for her wait list, and when she has spots open, which is just occasionally, sign up, because it's great. The extras are always good and fun, and it's just fun to get yarn in the mail. So anyway, okay, so for my ants, which are the smaller square, and I think they're 3.75 square inches, I got this board from Collins Plus Fresh Original, collinspainting.com. So I got this at Hobby Lobby, and then I just got a little picture easel, frame easel. And so I will put some trim. Once I finish this, it'll have the washer on the back, and the magnet will go here so that she can switch these out. But I thought that was the perfect size and will look cute with all of her months on it. And then I also got this box that I'm going to decoupage some paper on, and then she can store all of her months that aren't currently on display in this box, and it just keeps everything nice and organized for her. And then the one that I saw at Hobby Lobby for my mom, it was kind of like a shelf with a back, and it had like a drawer or an open bottom that she could have stored her months in. But I thought it was 50% off, and it wasn't. So I was not going to spend $50 on this piece of furniture for her. I mean, it was, you know, it was perfect size. It was small. My husband's looking in. Did you see him? So I was like, okay, well, I'll just wait for it to go on sale, because, you know, Hobby Lobby has sales every week on different things. And table decor was on sale, but not wall decor. And it was in the table decor section, but it's actually a wall decor. So whatever. I didn't get that. But then we were at Target. My daughter and I had gone shopping, and in their dollar spot, they had this little, what looks like the top of a chair, but it's a shelf. And so it is like a little display shelf. It calls it a wall decor shelf, and it does have places to hang it. So anyway, it's kind of a distressed wood grain looking thing, and it's not painted in here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint loosely the inside so it's not brown there, and then distress that. So it's not going to be perfect, but what I thought, these could be mounted up here, and they will be trimmed, finished, and mounted, you know, and the magnet can be on that post. And anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And then I thought about getting like things she can, if she has stuff, she can set on the shelf. But this can just sit on her little shelf outside her door and be cute. So that is for my mom. And then while I was at Hobby Lobby, I looked in their clearance section in their frames, And I got several pieces that I thought could work for cross stitch finishes. So these were in their clearance and $3 or less. So this is just a black wooden box that'll stand by itself, and it says work hard and be nice to people, but probably if I used it, I would cover, not probably, when I use it for a cross stitch finish, I will either sand that and repaint it or just cover it up depending on what size the piece is that I'm going to add to that. So that was one. And then this one is metal with wood, but again, it would be good to cover this up. This one says, in the middle of my little mess, let me not forget how big I'm blessed, which is a cute saying, but regular $11.99 I got for $2.99. And then I got this barnwood frame that was regular $19.99, and I got it for $2.99 as well. So, and it's a nice, good frame. It doesn't have anything, obviously, in the back, but I can do that. So yeah, I think that is all of the haul I was going to talk about. I did get some charts off Etsy, and I did not print the picture of them. I just have the charts, so I can't show those, but I will talk about those when I work on them. They're just some little charts. But anyway, I think that is everything for this time. Thank you guys so much for joining. I better go rescue my daughter from the probably going crazy cat. What else do 3-month-old kittens do except go crazy? He's so sweet though. I'm very much in love and happy that I got Gage. So anyway, I hope y'all have a fabulous week or two. I have been doing every 2 weeks for the podcast at this point, and that has worked because I've had enough progress. If I have enough progress in a week, I would come back in a week, but if not, then I'll see you in 2 weeks for sure. All right, and remember, when life gets crazy, don't forget to take time to craft all the things. Have a good week, you guys. See you next time. Hi, friends. Welcome. That was really country. Guys, I have a little furry friend. This is my new guy, Gage. He is a 3-month-old kitten who is going to go away for a little bit. But in case you were wondering, I got Gage.